Good morning, students. So today we are going to learn about specific heat of a substance. Formula for specific heat of a substance. Already we know what is a specific heat. Specific heat is defined as heat required to rise the temperature of unit mass of substance to 1 degree centigrade, and that specific heat represented with the letter small capital S. In today's class number 5, we are going to discuss about expression for specific heat. Expression for specific heat is a capital S. So our formula is here I written specific heat S is equals to Q by M delta T. This is our formula. What is Q? Q is heat absorption or heat liberation. Capital Q is heat absorption or heat liberation. Come on, M. M is mass of the substance. M is mass of the substance. And delta T. Delta T is rise in temperature or drop in temperature. Let me explain this. When the object absorbed heat energy, then there is a rise in temperature. That is, initial temperature increases to some extent. When heat is absorbed by mass, then the initial temperature increased to some extent. That means object will increase its temperature. Second point, delta T, drop in temperature. It means when any object loses its heat, loss its heat energy, the temperature of the substance decreases. I hope you got the explanation for this formula. S is a specific heat of the substance. Q is a heat energy absorbed or liberated. Mass of the substance is M. Delta T, change in temperature. Sometimes we can call this one is rise in temperature when heat absorption, or drop in temperature when heat liberation ante vadileyatam. So this is about formula of specific heat. Now, what is the unit of specific heat? Specific heat unit is insidious system. We have two systems, insidious system or standard international, SI system or MKS. You can write like this, SI or MKS, and CGS is different from this one. Insidious unit, 1 calorie per gram degree centigrade. 1 calorie per gram, or you can calorie per gram degree centigrade, not 1 calorie. Calorie per gram degree centigrade is the CGS unit of specific heat. Calorie per gram degree centigrade is unit of specific heat. And one more thing, in SI system, unit of specific heat is J for joules. Joules per kg Kelvin. And we got a unit into different cases. One is a calorie and another one is MKS or SI system. And now, what is the relation between CGS units and SI unit? The relation is, if you choose 1 calorie per gram degree centigrade, 1 calorie per gram degree centigrade can be written in joules, that is 4.186 into 10 to the power of 3 joules per kg Kelvin. So, whenever you are supplying 1 calorie of heat to any mass of the substance, it means that 4.186 into 10 to the power of joules per kg Kelvin heat is supplied. అంటే 1 calorie heat ని నువ్వు సప్లై చేశాను అంటే 4.186 into 10 to the power of 3 joules per kg Kelvin ని నువ్వు సప్లై చేశావు అని అర్థం. So this is briefly about formula of specific heat and unit of specific heat and relation between calories and joules. This is a brief explanation. Okay, this is a brief explanation about the formula. Note it down. So here you have 2 beakers. Children, we are going to derive expression for specific heat. For that we need to do an activity. In that activity our aim is derive the expression for specific heat of the substance. For that I chosen 2 beakers with water. 2 beakers with water. One beaker contains 250 ml of water, milliliters of water. Another beaker contains 1000 ml, that is equals to almost 1 liter of water. Here it is volume. For my convenience, I will choose 250 grams of water, and here 1000 grams of water, that is equals to 1 kg. I hope you got the point. Because of it is a liquid, so I chosen 250 ml of water, approximately equals to 250 grams, and 1000 ml of water approximately equals to 1 kg. Okay, so initially these two are at a room temperature. Now in our experiment, what I am doing here, I will supply heat energy to this. Q, heat energy I am supplying here. Then what will happen? Their temperature rises. That means liquid is absorbing heat energy. Here the temperature of 250 grams of water and temperature of 1000 grams of water absorbing heat energy. Thereby there is a rise in temperature. When temperature rises up to 60 degree centigrade in both the beakers, what is the final temperature here? 60 degree centigrade. Then how much time will taken by the first beaker, 250 grams of water, and how much time taken by 1000 grams of water? Definitely 250 grams of water will take less time, and 1000 grams of water will take more time to rise their temperature to 60 degree centigrade. This is what our observation. What is our observation? the container which contains 250 grams of water, and water will increase its temperature to 60 degrees centigrade in less time, and here the 1000 grams of water will take more time to rise their temperature to 60 degrees, and it means 250 grams of water is absorbing less amount of heat, and 1000 grams of water will take more amount of heat to rise their temperature to 60 degrees centigrade. Got it? 250 grams of water will take less amount of heat to rise their temperature to 60 degrees centigrade, whereas 1000 grams of water, that is this one, will take more amount of heat to rise its temperature to 60 degree centigrade. Got it? So from here you will get this one, Q directly proportional to mass. Observe here, Q directly proportional to mass, where delta T is constant, that is here. Initial temperature is same and final temperature is same, that is delta T is constant. Rise in temperature is constant, that is 60 degree centigrade here. To get the constant temperature, you need to supply heat energy according to their masses. If mass is less, you need to supply less amount of heat energy. If mass is great or more, you need to supply more amount of heat energy to get the same change in temperature. That's why we got a relation Q directly proportional to mass. Q directly proportional to mass, where delta T is constant. So this is equation number 1. Got? Look, here I chosen two beakers, each contain 1000 grams of water. 1000 grams of water, and I will supply same amount of heat energy to both cases, to both beakers. So what I am doing, I am supplying same amount of heat energy to these both beakers, which contains 1000 grams of water and 1000 grams of water. Okay, same mass, constant mass. Then I will supply same amount of heat energy to these two for some time. Okay, now when I am supplying same amount of heat energy for some time, what is the rise in temperature in these two? Same amount of heat energy I am supplying, then what is the rise in temperature? Same rise in temperature, because mass is constant. So there is no difference, because mass is a constant. For that I will choose only one beaker to do this activity. One beaker is enough, and I need to observe for one beaker only in 2 seconds, and in 3 seconds, and in 4 seconds, and in 5 seconds. Then what I will observe, when I am supplying heat energy to this only one beaker, in 2 seconds I observed the rise in temperature is 2 degrees centigrade. The rise in temperature is 2 degrees centigrade. Initial temperature is 21, because beaker is kept in a room and room temperature is 21. Then after 2 seconds I observed 23. That is, the difference is 2 degrees centigrade. And after third second, I observed the change in temperature is 2 degrees centigrade. The change in temperature is 2 degree centigrade. Okay. And after 4 seconds, 2 degrees centigrade. Is it possible? So here what I am doing is, for same amount of mass, I am supplying heat energy, that is 2 degrees centigrade. Increase in temperature is 2 degrees centigrade, and after 3 seconds I am observing only increase in temperature is 2 degrees centigrade. Listen, this may be correct, but I will write this here clearly. Initial temperature is 21 degrees centigrade, and after 2 seconds, its temperature is 23 degrees centigrade. After 3 seconds, its temperature is 25 degrees centigrade. After 4 seconds, its temperature is 27 degrees centigrade. This is what happened really. Now, the change in temperature between these two is 2 degrees centigrade, and the change in temperature between these two is 4 degrees centigrade, and the change in temperature is these two is 6 degrees centigrade. Got it now? So every time when you are choosing change in temperature, you must choose final temperature and initial temperature, final temperature and initial, final and initial, not like this. Okay, so this is the difference between these two, not from final to initial. Okay, please remember, when you are supplying heat energy, what will happen? Its initial temperature may be 21 degrees centigrade because it is at room temperature, and final temperature increases 23 degrees centigrade, 25 degrees centigrade and 27 degrees centigrade. Then observe here, as you are supplying heat energy to the system, there is a rise in temperature, and it is directly proportional for constant mass. Observe here, for constant mass, when m is constant, q directly proportional to rise in temperature. As the amount of heat energy increases and increases and increases, the rise in temperature is also increases and increases. So rise in temperature is also directly proportional to heat supplied to the system. So we got two equations, 1 and 2, that q directly proportional to mass, q directly proportional to delta T. Okay, so when you combine these two equations, then you will get q directly proportional to m delta T, q directly proportional to m delta T. And to remove this proportionality symbol, q is equals to ms delta T, where s is a constant, that s is nothing but our specific heat, that s is nothing but our specific heat. Observe here. So you can use this formula for heat absorption and liberation. You can use this formula for heat absorption and liberation. Second point I will give you once again. When you are supplying heat energy to this, what will happen? Initial temperature after 2 seconds increases to 23 degrees centigrade, and after 3 seconds this 21 degrees centigrade rises to 25 degrees centigrade, and after 4 seconds 21 degrees centigrade increases to 27 degrees centigrade. So here you can observe the change in temperature. Initially after 2 seconds it is 2 degrees centigrade, after 3 seconds it is 4 degrees centigrade, after 4 seconds it is 6 degrees centigrade. This is how we observed that heat energy supplied to the system is directly proportional to rise in temperature. Okay, so please note it down it as a case 2, and the previous slide you have case 1. Okay, and this is the expression q directly proportional to m. That means heat supplied to the system is directly proportional to mass of the system. and here heat supplied to the system is directly proportional to rise in temperature of the system. Okay, so no need to write this point in equation, in expression. So your formula will be like this: Q is equals to ms delta T, Q is equal to ms delta T, and then S is equals to Q by m delta T. This is your final equation. S is equal to Q by m delta T. So children, after listening this video, watch carefully and you can take screenshots when I am showing these ones, this one, and zoom it and prepare classwork, today's classwork. Okay, bye.